Good morning, good afternoon. Today's Monday, June 11th, 2018, and we're doing the morning business headline commentary. All right. Without saying much, the euphoria and excitement and attention is going into the summit. I do have some commentary and opinions to express as we go into those headlines. Let's look into the headlines right in front of me right now. All right. Seems like net neutrality repeal is official, and it will affect a lot of people, including me. But here's my opinion on this thing. If you give me internet for free, this rule would apply when net neutrality repeal can be throttling or blocking or anything. That's in the only case of where the internet is free and I'm using it. Alright, I'm paying for my internet. In this case, you better give me all my traffic without any, side deals. Because, I'll be super angry if you mess with my internet that I pay for on the terms that I paid for previously. If you start changing those, not only your stock price will be affected, your company can be taken out of business because I'm so angry about it. Alright, that's that a little bit about changing the rules on net neutrality. Only applies to free internet, okay? Because I understand companies need to make money to provide that service. But if I pay for it, you have no right to apply any other standards or any other strange setups where you're affecting the quality of the stuff that I purchase. Alright, that's that. Alright, IHOP, trying to do more business by introducing burgers that I read somewhere else. Alright, that's pretty good. But I haven't tried IHOP before. Pancakes I can make myself, because, pancake is not too hard to make. Rolls-Royce reeling from engine problems, quality issues. Yes, if you're willing to pay for such high pricing for untested or limited tested qualities, you just giving them a lot of money and then pay double, triple for maintenance. There's a lot of people willing to do that for just a logo. If you're pretty advanced in your craft, in your industry, you basically understood the industry to a science, which is guys knowing how to fix their own car and maintain their own car, because you understand the technology and the designs and stuff. And when you're that involved, such as in technology like computers and cars, in chemistry or things related to that, where you have to know the basic science. And this is where you have a meritorious education comes in, and you evaluate the raw materials that's put in and the basic design that's put in. And there's a lot of car companies. If you read the consumer reports, yearly reports of consumer reviews, only a couple of brands are consistently in a top ranking, consistently. While other car companies, even though they have the brand of the logo, and a lot of young people just fall for these brands and logos, will pay 2 to 3 times the car price just to maintain it. All right. A little bit of airport stuff happening in other areas. So we see Volkswagen continue, with the cheating of engineering in their cars. They don't have the actual truth in engineering, as their logo has mentioned. Many have seen, a lot of these European car companies don't have the skills as in other countries. Again, the Consumer Reports don't have these brands in the top ranking at all. Never did. So you see a lot of consumers like, wait a minute, this shit is not working right, or not actually giving the performance or the like they stated, MPGs and so forth like that. So consumer has been informed many times over the years about the quality of the cars by different companies, and car guys know what's going on a lot of the times. Yes, wind and solar energy. I have spoken to some business guys. Germany is number one, very advanced in wind and solar technology, where they produce so much energy is actually free because the supply of the electricity generated from these renewables have outstripped demand. And with these things, when you have supplies outstripping demand, you can actually export electricity, in contributing to global demand for these things, and make extra money by selling electricity and energy. You see like Bitcoin pricing volatility expressing itself again. Yes, it is given, as I mentioned before, in connection to other things. As you know, very important things are happening, and this is a side leverage. And if you have followed what I said before, all right. All right, seems like KKR used to be known for the Labisco stuff, crackers, make crackers, leverage buyouts, and they recently, in the past, trying to take out GoDaddy. These are simple things that everybody understands: domain names, web hosting, and they're going into other areas as well. A little bit in response to commentaries like mine and other people's commentaries, and but they're not known for technology, or even healthcare. So if I place my bets like similar to my commentaries, if KKR were into leverage buyout, like related to Nabisco stuff, I'll go with that. But this I would put, wait and see a little bit, because then they really haven't done something like that before, right? All right. But we do see, like, OPEC, which is a diminutive now in comparison to U.S. production size in oil. But we do see, like, there's a collusive effort to push oil prices higher because, as I mentioned, Saudi Arabia was trying to attract a lot of diverse investments into diversifying its industry beyond just oil. And the only stuff that I've seen is maybe just like Hollywood trying to show more superhero movies in their country, and not a lot of other investments. So naturally, they're picking back into their old industry, which is trying to make more money on selling oil, which is screwing a lot of Americans that has to use gas to drive the cars. But this collusive effort has limited benefit because, in maybe just like even 1 year from now, you can mark me, 1 year to 1/2 a year from now, a lot of full electric cars are coming into the market. Just a couple of weeks ago, Porsche came out with an all-electric sports car. So that's a direct contribution to the already other high demand for all electric cars, beyond just Tesla. Nissan has a Leaf, and they're introducing additional ones, and Toyota is coming out the all EV RAV4. They're still testing it because they're good at testing cars for quality. So that's why they still a little bit late to the market. Toyota coming out. What's it? The Honda come out the Clarity, which is a little bit all electric, still maintain a small motor just in case for backup once you use up all your electric power from the car. All right. All right, a little bit like Amazon, bringing Prime discounts to Whole Foods. I still haven't visited Whole Foods yet. Until they try to attract me with some, interesting things happening. Food I can get anywhere. I don't need to specifically go to long distances to just visit Whole Foods. Because there's problem parking in all of these locations in the city. But if they, spin it a little bit, where you have like some interesting things happening relating to technology, maybe from, support, like Genius bars for Amazon tech products, or to teach you how to use like tech products, or even like Amazon, web hosting, AWS support. I probably will make an effort to find parking and go there and buy something to eat, and try to patronize some of the tech products and services. I mean, that's just me. All right. Uber's applies for patent to detect drunk passengers. I mean, the only way, the first impression that to detect passenger would be the smell of the breath or detecting the odor. Um, if you can do that, you don't need to touch the passenger. But there's so many different ways, and you don't really know if the driver will actually implement or exercise this capability. Because some of them just, if you're like relatively okay and calm and normal, they just take you to your destination. All right, so alrighty, so everybody has been, a lot of attention and excitement over the summit. Well, you gotta be careful a little bit too much excitement. You know what I'm saying? Like you first meeting for the first time, never met before, but they see each other on television, and reading each other's messages. They already know they're not sure what to expect. So here's the, more definitive expectation is to maybe, expect not too much. Nice meeting you. We'll meet again because we want to get something done. And that's for certain because you need to meet again to get something done. And I do see, when you work with people, you see like certain gestures to express professionalism and willingness to work because everybody was there early, before Tuesday. Like a lot of people that you like to work with that deliver well, they get there early and stay late, right? We'll see. They did get there early. We'll see if they stay late. Um, the executive's birthday is June 14, which is 12, 13, 14, which is Thursday, and they did celebrate a little bit early for him. All right, so I mean, like myself, like every other people, there's a lot of talk about it. There's a lot of commentary, both good and bad. But here's a definitive thing, like I just mentioned. The meeting for the first time is more practical. They meet later on as well to finish things up, and for anything, and they did express gestures that shows professionalism and willingness to work, which is coming early and see if they stay late, like you work with any other people, All right. Um, Look at the stocks. All right. There's another must-have, which is the flamethrower. Since it's a flamethrower that uses methane gas, you need to have a small tank of methane as a fuel for this flamethrower. The flames are generated by combustion of natural gas. So just like water guns, once you spray out all your water, you need to refill it. So I would imagine these flamethrowers would need to refills, and maybe like they may charge a lot for these refill canisters. You don't know. We'll see. But it's actually something fun. And like I mentioned before, you have to give wide latitude for innovation for this company, where eventually they may hit on something that's like completely new and will contribute significantly different revenue business. Like I mentioned, that SpaceX, right? Commercialization of space, recreationalized business of space, and logistics. Jobs from NASA contracts or satellite delivery contracts. Um, you know, and also if they ever catch on the competition of space Grand Prix, like I mentioned before. Here's something that I didn't mention: like any rocket technology that any country has developed, these are like very interesting knowledge and skill, which can enter themselves instead of development of weaponry. You can use it to compete in this Grand Prix. It's something I throw around and see, like if they do catch on with a Grand Prix. Right now, I see SpaceX, Amazon's Blue Origin, and also Virgin Space, and eventually would countries' efforts like NASA, European Space Agency, Russia Space Agency, Chinese Space Agency, Japanese Space Agency, and eventually maybe like the summit participants, they have the knowledge to compete in this like Grand Prix, which is very interesting. If they try to have a competition of a space Grand Prix. Now, like I mentioned, just beyond the three, now you have sovereign space agency that can participate. Which is very interesting and probably very entertaining. For this space Grand Prix. All right, Stryker has in the business of medical devices, like hip replacement and so forth like that, and still they can maintain a high margin in this medical health devices. You know, from what I understand, a lot of medical devices has been lower cost when they move production elsewhere in globalization efforts. And since it's in the medical industry, they still can maintain higher pricing after the lowering of cost by taking production elsewhere. That may be changing, and that's why they may foresee opportunity in takeovers. All right. I mean, when I see this picture, I keep mentioning Optimus Prime. I don't know why. Optimus Prime is one of the leaders of Transformers. Alright, Supreme Court opposed Ohio photo registration purge policy. Well, that's a consideration of states' rights and locality rights. If they feel, if the citizens, the management of voting activity is unique, like certain areas to express, states' right or local rights to manage photo or voting and photo management, they do have a right to express certain, uniqueness, while considering, some federal law to make voting, cohesively, vanilla. You do need to maintain certain standard in voting quality. So this is a, consideration of both sides, states' rights to manage their own voting scene, and also conforming a franchisee voting quality. Like McDonald's, if you're a franchisee, in order to enforce quality, McDonald's owns the land, so if you don't maintain quality a certain on par, they're not going to rent the land to you to operate. So that's how they enforce quality among the franchisees. I mean, voting, you need to maintain similar concept, like certain voting and voter quality. So that's a discussion, in consideration of both ends. Oh yeah, I do have my own opinion about eventually this country need to have like an easier form of remote voting. I don't know about you, but there's like, organizations that are being like funded to the millions of dollars to help people just to vote by mail. How about funding, legitimate efforts to remote voting by phone, or remote voting by through the internet? About time, right? All right, that's that with the voting discussion. All right, that was a little bit of Triple Crown, Warren Buffett went to Columbia. That's what I remember. And he went to read a lot of books in the library. And he continues to read a lot of books. And he does promote certain books, but I do also understand people want to sell books. Just like the content creators of the Bible and the content creator of modern books, sometimes these content creators need to embellish and to create interesting content so people can read it. Just, like any other content creator, but I'm not bashing anybody, okay? All right, this right now, like a lot of these anticipation of major events this week, and thank goodness it wasn't last week. It's this week. All right. So these are the major business headlines, and major geopolitical headlines, and today's Monday, June 11, 2018. I'm doing the morning business headline commentary. Something of note, I do have Indian followers and Chinese business followers. Some Chinese business followers decided to buy out Germany's robotics firm after I feature these robotics arms in some of my supercar videos listed below, dated below. Alright, I also have Indian followers that follow my initial recommendation on Amazon, McDonald's, and others, and have done very, very well, including Modi. Afterwards, decided to give a big hug on Amazon. Also, I did mention to that my commentary may be affecting sovereign policies, including my commentary on Hong Kong's land filling efforts to expand the land areas. I did have a response in my initial commentary on that within 24 hours, where the Hong Kong government will consider more land filling efforts, which I did mention that the world may be running out of sand that's usable for land filling and building buildings. So I did mention that a little bit. All right, so these are some of my sometimes actionable commentaries that some of my followers follow, which is very good. All right, today's Monday, June 11, 2018, and we're doing a morning business headline commentary. Happy trading, everybody, and happy watching the news for this week.